As the bright lights of Hollywood dim and the red carpet rolls up, a darker side of the entertainment industry emerges. Behind the glitz and glamour lie two mysterious cases that continue to baffle investigators to this day. The first case involves the murder of William Desmond Taylor, a beloved Hollywood actor whose death in 1922 remains unsolved. Despite numerous suspects, motives, and conspiracy theories, the killer's identity and motive remain a mystery. Was it a disgruntled actor, a jealous lover, or something more sinister? The second case involves the tragic death of Ronni Chasen, a prominent Hollywood publicist who was gunned down in her car in 2010. Initially believed to be a targeted attack, but questions linger. Was there more to the story than what was officially reported, and what led to her untimely demise? Join us as we dive into these two mysterious Hollywood cases, exploring the facts, theories, and evidence that have captivated and confounded true crime enthusiasts for decades. Discover the secrets, scandals, and the mysteries that continue to haunt the entertainment industry and leave us wondering what really happened in Tinseltown's darkest hours. Number 1. William Desmond Taylor. The sun rose over the city of Los Angeles on the morning of February 2nd, 1922, revealing a gruesome discovery. The lifeless body of William Desmond Taylor, a popular film director, was found inside his bungalow at the Alvarado Court Apartments. As the news of the murder spread, it shook the Hollywood motion picture colony to its core, and it became one of the most sensational and mysterious murders in the history of the American film industry. William Desmond Taylor was born into the Anglo-Irish gentry on April 26, 1872, in County Carlow, Ireland, with a family of 5 siblings. After attending Marlborough College in England, he left Ireland for a dude ranch in Kansas, where he rediscovered his passion for acting. Taylor eventually moved to New York City, where he began his acting career in 1913, and his earliest known screen appearance was in The Counterfeiter. In 1914, Taylor began directing films, starting with The Judge's Wife for Balboa. After departing from Balboa, he went on to direct 2 films for Favorite Players Film Co., and later joined American Film Manufacturing Company. While there, he directed a majority of the 30-episode serial titled The Diamond from the Sky. A year later, he joined Palace Pictures, which became a subsidiary of famous Players Lasky. Taylor's popularity as a film director and actor grew, and he directed 59 silent films between 1914 and 1922, and acted in 27 between 1913 and 1915. He was engaged to actress Neva Gerber until 1919, who later described him as the soul of honor, man of personal culture, education, and refinement. On the morning of February 2nd, 1922, Taylor's body was discovered inside his bungalow at the Alvarado Court Apartments. A cursory examination was made, and Taylor was declared to have died of a stomach hemorrhage. However, when doubts later arose, forensic investigators found that the film director had been shot at least once in the back with what appeared to have been a small caliber pistol, which was not found at the scene. In Taylor's pockets, investigators found a wallet holding $78 in cash, a silver cigarette case, a Walton pocket watch, a penknife, and a locket bearing a photograph of actress Mabel Normand. With the evidence of the money and valuables on Taylor's body, robbery seemingly was not the motive for the killing. However, a large but undetermined sum of cash that Taylor had shown to his accountant the day before was missing and apparently never accounted for. During the investigation, actress Mabel Normand was a person of interest, as she had visited Taylor on the evening of his murder. While being interviewed by the police 5 days after the director's body was found, actress Mary Miles Minter said that Taylor had made several highly delusional statements about some of his local acquaintances during the weeks before his death. She also said that her friend, director, and actor Marshall Neeland thought Taylor had recently become insane. The murder of William Desmond Taylor, along with other Hollywood scandals such as the Roscoe Arbuckle trial, led to a frenzy of sensationalist and often fabricated newspaper reports. The murder remains an official, cold case, and the identity of Taylor's killer has never been determined. In the midst of a media circus caused by the case, Los Angeles Undersheriff Eugene Biscayles warned a Chicago Tribune reporter that the industry had been hurt, stars had been ruined, stockholders had lost millions of dollars, and a lot of people were out of jobs, and incensed enough to take a shot at him. Despite the lack of resolution, the case has continued to fascinate people and inspire numerous theories and speculations. Some suggest that Taylor's death may have been related to his rumored homosexuality, which was considered taboo at the time. Others have pointed fingers at various Hollywood stars, including Mabel Normand, who was linked to Taylor both romantically and professionally. The case also inspired numerous books and films, including the 1976 novel The Day the Music Died, by Ed Gorman, which presents a fictionalized version of the events surrounding Taylor's murder. Alongside this was the 2013 documentary Tabloid, which explores the sensationalist media coverage of the case. Despite the many years that have passed since Taylor's murder, the case remains open and his killer, or killers, have never been identified or brought to justice. Not that they would, because their murderer is likely long dead. And so the mystery of William Desmond Taylor continues to haunt Hollywood, a reminder of a bygone era and the dark secrets that lurk beneath the glittering facade of the entertainment industry. Number 2. Ronnie Chason. The city of Los Angeles was shrouded in an eerie silence on that fateful night. The streets were empty. The only sounds that could be heard were the distant hum of passing cars and the rustling of leaves in the cool breeze. But something was lurking in the shadows, something sinister, something that would shatter the calm of the night. In a secluded area of Beverly Hills, Ronnie Chasen, one of Hollywood's most prominent publicists, was driving home from a movie premiere. Her mind was racing, filled with thoughts of the next big project, the next big star, and the next big paycheck. Little did she know, her life was about to be turned upside down. As she pulled up to a stop sign, a figure emerged from the darkness. The figure raised a gun and fired 4 shots, shattering the quiet of the night. Ronnie Chason slumped over the steering wheel, blood gushing from her wounds. The figure disappeared into the night, leaving behind a mystery that would haunt the city for years to come. Ronni Chasen was Hollywood's ultimate old-school publicist. She had worked in the industry for more than 30 years, directing Academy Award campaigns for over 100 films, including Driving Miss Daisy and The Hurt Locker. She was responsible for the PR work on films such as On Golden Pond and Wall Street 2. Money Never Sleeps, and her talent was in high demand from many top-tier actors and musicians. Veronica Cohen, who later became known as Ronni Chasen, entered the world in Kingston, New York in 1946. Growing up, she spent much of her childhood in the bustling boroughs of Manhattan and the Bronx. In the early days of her career, she worked as a publicist for her brother, Larry Cohen, who had hired her for his 1973 film, Hell Up in Harlem. She quickly made a name for herself in Hollywood and was known for her work on films. Particularly in music composition, she represented top composers and songwriters such as Hans Zimmer, Trevor Horn, and Mark Isham. Chasen's dedication to her work was evident in the numerous successful Oscar campaigns she directed. She was instrumental in securing Michael Douglas's Oscar win for his role in Wall Street, and she directed the Oscar campaign for Driving Miss Daisy, which won Best Picture in 1990. On November 16, 2010, Chasen was driving home from the premiere of the film Burlesque when she was shot and killed. The Beverly Hills Police Department concluded that Harold Martin Smith, an unemployed felon, killed her during a random robbery. According to the police, Smith was an expert marksman and shot Chasen from an SUV, or truck, that pulled alongside her car. Chasen's death was a mystery that shook Hollywood to its core. The news of her murder spread quickly and rumors began to circulate that it was a targeted attack rather than a random act of violence. But despite many people being under suspicion, it was not until December 1st, 2010 that the first breakthrough in the case occurred. On that day, the Los Angeles Times reported that a man believed to be involved in the murder had committed suicide after being confronted by police. Speculation about the motive and identity of the killer ran rampant. Initial reports suggested that the shooting may have been targeted, with some suggesting that it was related to a recent business deal or a personal dispute. However, as the investigation progressed, police began to uncover evidence that pointed to a different theory. The police ultimately concluded that Harold Martin Smith, the man who committed suicide after being confronted by police, was the sole perpetrator of the crime. They determined that Chasen's murder had been a random act of violence and that she had simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But many questions still remained about the circumstances of the crime, leaving the public to speculate about what really happened. Despite the conclusion of the investigation, Chasen's murder remains shrouded in mystery. Her death has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories naturally, and many people believe that the killer was never caught. The case remains unsolved to this day, and Hollywood continues to mourn the loss of one of its most talented publicists. Ronni Chasen was a woman who dedicated her life to the movie industry, and her contributions to the art of film cannot be understated. She was a talented publicist who was respected by all who knew her, and her death was a tragedy that will never be forgotten. Hollywood lost one of its brightest stars on that fateful day in November, and the world was left to wonder who could have done such a thing. As we come to the end of our journey through the mysterious cases of William Desmond Taylor and Ronnie Chason, it's clear that the dark side of Hollywood is not just a thing of the past. Despite the passing of nearly a century, the Taylor case remains one of the most compelling unsolved murders in Hollywood history, while the Chason case continues to mystify investigators and leave many questions unanswered. As we delve deeper into the complex web of conspiracy, lies, and secrets that shrouded these two cases, we are left with a sense of unease and a haunting feeling that there may be more to these stories than we will ever know. Perhaps the ghosts of Hollywood's past still haunt the city's streets, reminding us that behind the glitz and glamour, there lies a darker reality that is all too often concealed from public view. So, as we say goodbye to these two enigmatic figures of Hollywood's past, let us not forget the lessons they have taught us: to be vigilant, to question everything, and to never take anything at face value. For in the world of Hollywood, the truth is often stranger than fiction, and the mysteries that lie beneath the surface are more fascinating than anything that can be found on the silver screen.